So when we talk about these first impressions, there's so many things that factor in. And when I do this training for businesses, it's usually a 2-hour training because there's really everything from the visual to the verbal to how we connect with people. One of the big things that I'd like to talk with you about today in my limited time is a way to connect with people and create likability. Because one of the things that we want to consider is how likable are we? And that's really going to draw people to us. Amalia was such a perfect example when you got up to speak. If you think of like her, it's hard to even explain, like just her essence, you know, when she was up here, she had such great energy. She was someone that I would want to come and give a big hug, right? I would want to go introduce myself and give her a big hug because she's very likable. When it comes to like putting your finger on what is it about her that makes her likable, is she's very accessible. Doesn't she seem accessible? Mm-hmm. Don't you think? And so when you think of being accessible and connecting with your clients, they want that accessibility as well. So when we talk about creating likability, it's about making that person feel connected to you. A good question to ask yourself, are you someone that people come up and ask directions from when you're out and about on the street? Because if you are, I know I get it all the time. People come up to me, ask me questions, ask me directions, and it's because I'm pretty accessible. If no one ever asks you for directions, it probably means you're not, whatever vibe you're giving off is not very accessible. Do people talk to you in elevators? That's another great question. Amalia, do people talk to you in elevators? Yes, I can see that. I would totally talk to you in an elevator because she's very accessible. So if you think about the few easy things that you can do to make yourself accessible, what do you think some of those are? Smiling, number one. Smiling. And body language. What kind of body language? Open. Eye contact, right? We call close proximity. You don't want to stand too close. Have you seen the close talker on Seinfeld? You know what I'm talking about, right? Where you stand too close, but not being too far away either. There's a happy place in the middle. So being accessible, smiling, having open body language. When I was meeting a lot of you for the first time today, I would be talking to one person, and then I'd see someone kind of approach me on the side, and I'm sure all of you experience this today, because this is a networking group, right? Where you see someone who's kind of off to the side that easily could join that group, and what I always will do, and some of you may have noticed this when I was talking to you today, is I step back a little bit and I open my body language so that that person has a space. Otherwise, if I'm directly squared off with you, it's leaving that other person out. So when you're at a networking event and you want to meet more people and have that open accessibility, a great thing you can do is when you're talking to someone, even though you might not stop the conversation, you just open up that one-on-one and make it more of a triangle. You open a space for them to join the conversation. And so I did that with a lot of you today, and very easily you slipped right into that conversation. We introduced ourselves, and then it was a great flow. You don't want to have those awkward situations, right, where it's like you're trying to get in, and I know with some of you today, I was trying to get into your conversations. There'd be two of you talking, and I'm just walking around, and I'd kind of stand there a minute, and no one really did anything, so I moved on. And you might have been we might have been a good connection to have with each other, but I wasn't able to break into that little dyad. So you want to make sure you're opening up that space. So being likable is one way to create a really good first impression, and you can do that again with your body language, smiling, etc.